a couple of days ago, Sasha Cohen won the B group in front of Elena Sokolova and Julia SEBESTYEN, Elena LIASHENKO in 4th place. And in Group A, that's where the surprises were. Irina Slutskaya, who's battling her way back after illness, in 5th place. Susanna POYKIO did really well for Finland, got 4th. Michelle KWAN, desperately disappointing, she was 3rd. Miki Ando 2nd, and Shizuka Arakawa 1st. So Japan 1st and 2nd. And that's how they're going to line up for the short program here. Jenna McCorkill finished in 13th place in her group, and she will be 2nd to go this afternoon. We start with the Korean, as you see, then Jenna, then Julia Lautova from Austria, Sara Falatiko from Belgium, Michelle Cantu from Mexico, and then Moja Kopač from Slovenia. And obviously, as we go through the afternoon, the standard improves group by group, as it did last night, until that the most amazing group we've ever seen, the final group in the men.
Well, it's provoked a little bit of controversy. A lot of people sending us messages about their views on the results last night. A lot of you supporting the comments that we made that, you know, perhaps Ляшенко should have won. It was a close call, but the 6-0 has provoked a lot of controversy and people around the arena in Dortmund talking about it as well.
Yes, I mean, I personally thought that Joubert should have won. Very, very close, but I'm in a minority. I can respect that. What I can't respect is the giving of a 6, which totally devalues it when someone falls over. 6 is about perfection.
That's right, and just to make that point to people that are arguing with us on the internet, a 6-0 is for a perfect performance and nothing less. And when we looked at the ordinals, there was one judge who'd given 2 5-9s to Joubert. Perhaps they were one of the judges that thought that Ляшенко was better and had nowhere else to go, so you can live with that. But apart from that, there's no way you can give a 6 for anything less than perfection.
But some Ляшенko fans will argue and argue it until they die, and we understand that too. We just don't agree with it.
Skater aus Korea, representing Korea, Ji-eun Choi.
So here we go then. Hope you'll stay with us for the next 4 hours. Once again, super ratings. Thank you for watching with us. I know a lot of you are new viewers, and I hope you're enjoying Eurosport's coverage here. So we start with the young lady in 14th place in her qualification group. From Seoul, Choi Ji-eun. Just 15 years of age. Combination you can see, but the triple Lutz not landed. She's done really well to qualify. 30 ladies here, 24 will make it through to tomorrow afternoon's free program.
Well, straight away a 0.4 deduction for that mistake on the combination. Nice spiral sequence.
Just about got away with that triple flip.
Nice double axel.
Well, after a very edgy start, good comeback there from the 15-year-old Choi Ji-yoon. And good to see her.
Ji-yoon Choi.
Junior champion in Korea. And that's not a bad start in her first major competition as a senior.
No, really, she gave it her best shot there. Tends to not get an awful lot of elevation on the jump, so difficult for her to make the rotation. Good effort on the flip. Not fully clean. Still needs to get a bit more rotation on there, but a real prospect for the future. When you think that she's just 15, come out here and has coped with the pressure of competing in a World Championships and being first to skate. Very, very well indeed. A nicely choreographed program. Looks great out on there on the ice. And here she is going into that Lutz. Can see really didn't have enough power out of that right leg on the spot. The transfer of weight from the left to right foot. Not as smooth or as strong as it should be. Lovely spiral sequence, one of the elements in this short program. 8 required elements here. And she really does look nice out there on the ice. Beautiful position in that layback spin and into the Bielmann. Well, she's got the whole package if she can get the technical elements nailed.
And if you could speak.
Yeah. It's been a long week, Simon. Here's the axle. This was nice. You can see still needs to get a little bit more height, just a quarter of a turn short. And with the new judging system for next season, she needs to make sure that those jumps are absolutely pristine clean. The way the system will work is that each jump will have a tariff. And if you are anything between 3/4 and backwards, the jump will be marked as a bad triple. If you're anything less than that, so if you land a jump forwards, it will be marked as a bad double. So the tariff will be very, very low indeed. And whereas here, with this system, the skaters are starting with 6 and having marks taken away. With the new systems, they're starting with 0 and building points.
Not a bad start then from Choi Ji-hun. Unlikely though to make it through to tomorrow afternoon.
Next
Now then,
skater.
hold your breath. Back home.
Representing Great Britain.
Did really well in Europeans. Moved up all the time to 14th. 21st in the Worlds last year. Didn't have a great skate in her qualification, so she starts here in the first group. Secret Garden music here for 17-year-old Jenna McCorkle and her short. Had to step out of the triple Lutz before she got the double toe in. So 0.3 off. 2 on the double axel and a beaming smile to celebrate it. Yep, she seems happy enough, and she recovered well. Such a shame about the combination at the start, and I think it was the short program that was her undoing in Budapest, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, a real pity there, because she got a bit of a lean on that Lutz and just couldn't get it back. But showing real character, putting that mistake right at the beginning of the program, right behind her, came back with a lovely triple loop off the steps. She has been doing the flip, but obviously feels the loop is a little bit more consistent, and it's so important in this short program not to make mistakes. As we've said time and time again, you can't win the championships in the short, and there's not an element of winning the championships here for Jenna, obviously, being so low down at this stage, but you can lose a lot of places in the situation she's in.
Coach Yuri Burako was the 1981 World Junior silver medalist, so he's been right up there. Just couldn't quite hold it.
Yeah, actually, she'd been a little quicker. I reckon she could have got out of that. A little sharper. Yuri looking on there. His wife, Marina. There's the loop. Beautiful position in the air.
It's going to be a close call whether she qualifies for tomorrow.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens, because the 7 of the 8 elements were very, very good indeed. If we get a situation where in the first 2 groups we get a lot of mistakes, who knows? She could be okay for her. Certainly a lot of pressure for these skaters out in the short program. Here's the double axel. We'll see them all performing this jump in this short program. Nicely landed. Good elevation on that.
And she has a great character, which we heard to good effect in your chats with her in Budapest, but it transfers itself across the ice to the spectators so well.
Yeah, it really does. She's a gutsy kid, works really, really hard, and one of the skaters that'll go out there trying new elements, takes tumble after tumble, gets up, carries on, doesn't matter, just wants to succeed. And well, I wish her all the best, and hope she gets through here.
Well, the judges not of one opinion there. Look at that, 3.5 up to 5.6, 3.9 up to 5.0. Those are terrific marks for someone second to go. They like her. So she's got a really good chance, I would think. It's awful, we have to sit here and hope for mistakes for the skaters who finished just above her
The next
in
skater
qualification.
representing Austria, Julia Lautova.
Here's someone who finished below her, surprisingly, because she's been a big fixture in the upper echelons of ladies figure skating. 15th in her qualification, Julia Lautova, 22 years old, from Moscow, now skating for Austria. 8th in Budapest. It's extraordinary to see her in this situation. Same problem as for Jenna, just stepping out of the Lutz. Just about holds on to the triple flip.
Again, she's really having to work hard for these landings. That was the double axel.
Pleasing skater who's had her troubles this year. In fact,
Julia Lautova
has had troubles really for the last 3 or 4 years because she had a really serious back injury in 2000 in August and had to stop skating for a year. And it looked like she was marking time. Then had a really good Europeans in Budapest, and we hope for the best. And then this, but this was a better performance than the qualification.
Yeah, she had a torrid time in her qualification. She's one of those skaters that really is inconsistent. On a day, she's a real force to be reckoned with, and you can see there she's got the style, she's got the character, the personality, but those jumps sometimes elude her. Her technique not the best in the world. Here's the combination at the beginning. No problem on the Lutz there. Very, very slow and wide with that left leg on the way out of that. Had to put a turn in before the double toe loop, so 0.3 off there. And the flip not quite cleanly landed. I had that on a quarter of a turn at least short, so it could be a deduction there on the triple flip. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, flat-footed, quarter of a turn. No problems with the double axel. Spins look good, didn't see any short rotations there. But it was a tough performance again for her. She's not having a great time here in Dortmund.
Ladies and gentlemen, the marks please for Julia Lautova, Austria. The marks for required elements.
No, it's hardly a beaming smile, but the expression a lot less dramatic than it was in the first element. 3-4 up to 4.6.
3-8 and 5-0. Thank you. Julia Lautova, Austria.
Second place, Jenna McCorkill still leads at the moment. Julia Lautova second, and Choi Ji-yoon from Korea in third.
The next skater
aus Belgien,
representing Belgium.
Now from Belgium,
Falotiko.
in her second World Championship. She was 25th last year, didn't quite make the cut. 19 years old from Liège. 13th in her qualification group. Sara Falotiko. Triple toe. And a double axel. Sara Velotico. Similar performances to Jenna McCorkle. Not sure about the routine though, not sure about the music. It was a very difficult music to interpret out on the ice, and second part of that I thought she was just really skating through the music rather than with it.
Yeah, it was a very difficult choice to interpret, and it didn't really create any atmosphere either, which is very important when you're choosing a bit of music. You need something with a bit of power behind it. Certainly something that sounds good in your front room, when you put it in an arena, sounds completely different and doesn't give any atmosphere or anything to really interpret. It was a tough performance, down on the Lutz, and double axel I had again on a quarter of a turn cheat. Triple toe, easiest of the triple jumps to perform, so the first set of marks here are going to be pretty weak. Here's that Lutz, made the rotation but didn't get the weight over that left foot. Quickly up and back into the program, which was important. Some nice positions in the spins, the rotation all okay. Here she is on the toe loop. And that cleanly landed. A little bit of hesitation coming out of it, almost thinking about putting the hands down, but no need to do so. Some nice footwork, but I'm with you there, Simon, on the interpretation of the music. Footwork not really in time with the music at all. She did just skate through that last section. Good focus there with the judges through that sequence of spirals. And there Kevin van der Perren, who had quite a day yesterday, cheering her on.
It's pity because she looks as if she's got a great character, and we can see it out there now. Just really able to transmit it in the 2.5 minutes or so that mattered. Now is she going to make it through to tomorrow? It's going to be touch and go, I sense. 3-1 up to 4.2. But the more we're seeing here, the more it looks good for Jenna McCorkle at the moment. Too early to count our chickens, but she's doing okay. She's still going to be the leader. Sara there slotting into second place. And it's Jenna McCorkle who leads at the moment, from Sara Velotico
The next
and Julia Lautova.
Mexico.
representing Mexico, Michelle KWAN.
Rarity. Great to see skaters from all over the world emerging here. And here's one from Mexico, just 15 years of age. Of course, it's her first World Championships. And wish her the best. Music from 42nd Street for Michelle KWAN. Yes, oh, it's such a shame. It will be 0.4 off at the end. Such a shame after getting the triple Lutz.
Actually, there's a 0.3 deduction because she fell on the second jump of the combination. Good girl, hangs onto the flip.
Good double axel as well. She's got personality to burn this one. Terrific. Really good. What a character. First major championships. She was in the 4 continents, but this is a leap above that particular championship. Coached by Galina Smutskaya, who took Oksana Bayul and Viktor Petrenko to untold glory, Olympic gold medalists. So there's terrific background to her skating, but you can't teach that kind of character.
No, she's got a fantastic personality, hasn't she? And they'll be thrilled with that performance. Such a pity she couldn't hang on to that toe loop, because she just seemed to run out of steam. Didn't quite have enough speed to keep her balance at the end of the combination. But a really, really good effort. A gutsy go at the flip and made that count. And here she is. Look at the determination on her face going into this Lutz. A little high with a free leg going into that, which keeps the weight forwards. Oh dear. Weight just a bit far back on the end of that toe loop, so 0.3 off that first set of marks for that mistake. And there she is, Galina Smutskaya.
Great face.
Wonderful position in that back camel spin. And here's the flip. Again, a little high with the free leg, but whoa, look at the determination. She's going to keep that free leg off at all costs.
Spent some of her time training in Monterey, where she was born, but a lot of the time at Simsbury in Connecticut with Galina Smutskaya and Edgar Beckley, who you saw greet her as she came off the ice.
She really took it easy going into that double axel, holding back and keeping the speed down just to make sure that there were no silly mistakes. There's a proud bunch in the kiss and cry.
The marks are required.
You will make it a job for you.
Well, she was an unlikely candidate to make the top 24. It's just possible, still unlikely. Remember, she was 15th, bottom place in her qualification, bottom place of those who qualified. But decent marks. One judge has her first. She slots in 4th still. It's McCorkle who leads. One skater to go in this first group.
Nächste Läuferin
The next skater,
aus Slowenien.
representing Slovenia.
28 years of age now. She's been competing for well over a decade. Best she's achieved at World Championships was last year. Equal best. She finished 20th in Washington. 14th in her qualification though. Blues for clock from Mojca Kopač of Slovenia. And it's the Lutz again.
Well, the timing nowhere near correct going into that. Uphill struggle now for Moya.
Not too many people in the auditorium at the moment. It's a kind of an eerie atmosphere. Almost as if she feels very alone out there. Only a single axle. So that'll be 0.4 off. Jump, and the only one that will do her any good, triple toe loop. Such a shame. She's got some talent, all right. Immensely strong, and you don't get a physique like that by accident. She works so hard. But I'm afraid this was one of her least impressive performances at major championships, and I can't believe she's going to qualify for tomorrow afternoon.
No, I think there's no way back from that. 0.8 the deductions for the two mistakes on the jumps. And it is a pity, you're right, Simon, because on her day she really is great to watch. She's strong, elegant, got a real maturity out there on the ice, and she'll be bitterly disappointed with that. Came here looking for much, much more.
Holding back the tears and finding it very difficult to do so. Through all her years of experience, it's still a very bitter blow to swallow, and that's where it started.
Well, that Lutz, you know, normal is not a problem for her. She's got a great timing when it works, and loads of elevation on the jumps because she is so strong. Not the best position we're going to see on the layback spin there. Here's the double axel attempt, and the left foot just slipping away from her. She got no purchase as she put the grip on that left forward outside edge and only able to do 1.5 turns.
And if you don't do the full 2.5, it's as if you'd fallen on the jump. It's about as much use. You get a 0.4 deduction.
That's right, no mistakes there on the triple toe loop, but of course the toe loop, the easiest of the triple jumps, so the tariff very low for that. It's going to be, well, it's tough for her to sit in the kiss and cry now. It's going to get worse because when she sees the marks, certainly for the first set, they are going to be tough to swallow.
The marks, please, for MEIER Slovenia. Marks, please, for
Yes. No hiding place. Ushi Kessler to her left, former coach of Elvis Stoico. Boy, do we miss him. And right now I think she misses him. Decent marks of presentation, but 4th place, no, I don't think it's going to be enough for Moika, and I don't think we'll be seeing her tomorrow afternoon. Rather funereal
für die zweite Startgruppe mit den Läuferinnen Startnummern 7 bis 12.
A 6-minute warm-up for the skaters with the starting number.
So good news for Jenna McCorkill. Still too early to call her home into the free program tomorrow afternoon, but she's done what she had to do despite that one mistake on the triple Lutz. She leads at the moment. Julia Lautover in second place for Austria, Michelle KWAN third for Mexico, and then Mojca Kopač for Slovenia.
You were saying earlier, Simon, it's good to see emerging nations, or more nations here in these championships, with the Mexican there in third place at the moment. There was a skater from India entered. She entered actually in the Junior World Championships as well and didn't turn up there. She didn't turn up here either. But India, one of the newest nations to be a member of the International Skating Union.
Just to put Jenna's situation into perspective, at the moment she leads. There are 24 skaters still to go. All she has to do is find one more skater with less impressive marks than hers, and she will make it through. There's the German competitor here, Annette Diet. 20 years of age. She's in 10th place, or was in 10th place in her qualification group.
Blauen Kostüm aus Aserbaidschan, representing Azerbaijan, Daria Timoshenko.
Daria Timoshenko will be second to go. These skaters who finished between 10th and 12th in their respective groups. Timoshenko finishing in 12th place. Fang Dan, 19 years old, last Saturday for China,
Dan Fang,
finished 11th in her qualification group. Her third world. She was 18th last year, so not particularly happy with what she achieved on Wednesday.
Die Läuferin mit der Startnummer 10 trägt ein rosafarbenes Kostüm aus Australien, representing
from Australia, 3 times national champion. 12th place in her qualification group, so she could be a candidate to finish lower than Jenna. Whisper it quietly, though, about the Aussies. Italy's representative, Valentina Marcel. Finished in 11th place in her qualification group.
Die letzte Läuferin dieser Einlaufgruppe aus Italien, representing Italy, Valentina Marchesi.
17 years of age. 15th in Budapest, didn't compete in the Worlds last year. This is first time. Comes from a famous family. Her father was a 2-time Olympian, competing in the marathon back in 1980 and 84.
She's a real competitor, that girl. She actually won Italian nationals ahead of Carolina KOSTNER. And Carolina, she'll be going in the penultimate group. She finished 6th in qualification group A. So she's shown us there, capable with competing with some of the best skaters in the world at the moment.
Got a message in from Gordon saying for non-skaters it would make viewing more interesting if we could understand the jumps. Well, I understand that, and asking us if we can explain it. It is so difficult, to be honest. It took me years to get it, well, virtually right. I still make 1 or 2 mistakes, but by and large I've got it. And Chris has been a help in that, but it's very difficult to explain it if you don't know them.
Well, it is difficult. The differences are so subtle. But here's one for you to try and spot, Gordon. The double axel, which every skater will do here. Most of them, if they rotate in a counterclockwise direction, will take off going forwards. So that's the only jump where they actually leave the ice going forwards on their left foot. So look out for that one and see if you can call the double axel. It's 2.5 turns in the air. You won't be able to count the rotation, but look for them leaving the ice going forwards.
Noch 1 Minute Einlaufzeit.
Ladies, there is 1 minute left in your warm-up.
The argument's still raging in our message board as to Ляшенко and his sixes. Amazing to see the reaction that we've had over 90 pages of messages.
Well, it was an exciting evening, wasn't it? I still am buzzing. I haven't come back down to earth yet. A wonderful evening. Last night there was a press conference for the Germans, and Stefan Lindemann, obviously he arrived to that late because he'd had the doping and all the interviews and everything. And there were past champions there. It was an amazing scene. Everybody there to greet Lindemann, and he walked in the door, and everybody stood up and applauded him, and he went scarlet. He just did not know what to do, and afterwards he said he just wished for that moment he could have been beamed somewhere else. He was so embarrassed about the whole thing. Such a great guy.
Yes.
Bitten, das Einlaufen zu beenden.
Ladies, this is the end of your warm-up.
There's a German female competitor. Germany did have so many top skaters before in the ladies competition, but not at the moment.
Läuferin
The next skater.
aus der Slowakischen Republik.
So,
Presenting the Slovak
in this group, skaters from Slovakia, Azerbaijan, China, Australia, Germany and Italy, in that order. And we start with the Slovakian. Finished 13th 2 years ago in Nagano, but only 10th in her qualification group. Skating to music Evita, it's Susanna Babiakova.
Well, there you go, just for you, Gordon. She's opening with the double axel.
This will be the Lutz. And again, she has a problem, double toe loop on the end of it. But stepping out, 0.3 off. Double-footed on the flip. No, not great and not very well sold either. I think her heart went out of it halfway through after the mistakes. Shame. Married lady, Susanna, with a young son, Marianne, born in June of 2000. And been competing at the top level now for a number of years. Did well in Budapest, 9th place, outstanding, but nothing like that form here.
Yeah, a real shame. 0.7 deductions I've got there. Big moment for these local skaters picking up the flowers and presents that are being thrown down in appreciation. So here it is, the double axel, left forward outside edge. Look, she steps forwards off that forward outside edge. 2.5 turns. Spin seemed to be okay. Didn't notice any deductions there. Just counting the rotations. But this, very costly.
This is the Lutz.
And to put a turn in between the two jumps. Double toe loop on the end. And that's straight away 0.3 off. Close up of the footwork, which, to be honest with you, wasn't that challenging. Another rotation in the same direction. And here we see the flip again, planting that right toe in, and forwards there on 2 feet, so that won't count at all. Nice spiral sequence, and I think you're right, Simon, the heart had gone out of the performance. It is so important when things go wrong technically to work even harder on your presentation, because the second set of marks can save you sometimes. But it's tough to do when you're expecting more and you are bitterly disappointed. It's hard to rise above that sometimes.
Vadim Musit, who trains at the Nitra complex, and not much communication between the two of them. To be fair, there's not a lot to say right now. Certainly not in public. 3-5 up to 4-2 for the elements. Better for presentation, even a 5 there. I'm surprised someone was able to give her a 5, to be honest. And first place. I think she's lucky to be above Jenna McCorkill there.
The next skater,
So from Slovakia to Azerbaijan. And here, 23-year-old Daria Timoshenko. '31st last year, 12th in her qualification group. Intriguing story here. Her coach Igor Rusakov died of cancer in July of last year. And of course there was a massive effect on her skating. And I think only now is she starting to be able to come to terms with life with a new coach, Marina Selitskaya. We wish her the best. Incidentally, Jenna McCorkill still leads on the afternoon. Babiakova leads overall. But maybe not for too long. Jarring fall first up. Again on the flip. completely gone on the jumps. Meant to be a double axel. Such a shame. It looked like she was overwhelmed by nerves. She cut such a pleasing figure on the ice. I love the music motive from Mythos. And she skated to the music so well. But when it came to the jumps, it was a nightmare, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that really is as close to a nightmare as you can get, isn't it? 1.2 deductions on the jumps. And I felt right from the warm-up that this was going to be the story because she was so slow out there. Jumps don't work unless you really attack them, and she held back with a real lack of confidence on all of the big elements in that short program. We have to feel for her because it must have been awfully tough preparing this season.
Married to the ice dancer Igor Lukanin, who also represents Azerbaijan.
Well, there's where it first went wrong. The triple Lutz didn't make the full rotation there. The skate landing forwards. Look there on the toe.
That wouldn't have done her ankle any good at all.
No. It's, you have to be mighty quick. If you don't get full complete rotation, you've got to be razor sharp coming out of the jumps. Here she is going for the flip. No snap at the beginning of that, and again only landing forwards, so unable to maintain control once that right foot hits the deck.
A rather resigned look from Irina Slutskaya, as if she feared the worst, and from the warm-up, as Chris is saying, she probably did.
Good combination spin. Really like the camel spin. She went in with a butterfly, and in the last couple of turns on forward inside edge as opposed to a back outside edge, which is difficult to do and very impressive to look at.
Well, I fear she's going to be another one who fails to qualify, and she would be very lucky to. She knows that. After a performance like that. Ooh, yeah. You could feel it was like a sledgehammer blow to the stomach. Much better, of course, the presentation. I liked it very much. But it's not good enough, I'm afraid, and she's going to drop like a stone, and I'm sure we won't be seeing her 7th. Which is bad news for her, and I hate to say it, but it's great news for Jenna McCorkle, who now is definitely going to qualify, and she may well qualify with some ease, to be honest. The way this is going, it's not been a great start to the competition.
Dan Fang.
Now to the 19-year-old. She was 19 last Saturday, qualified in 11th place in her third Worlds, 18th last year, skating to music of Romeo and Juliet. It's Fang Dan. That's more like it. Really clean and powerful double axel. But the Lutz, her undoing as well.
Well, that was really a tough fall. Did well to get up and put the toe loop on the end. Hope she's okay and can recover from that.
Triple flip. Think she kept the free leg off.
Yep, cleanly landed and very well done too.
I like her jumping style. Just didn't work that time on the Lutz. Really nice routine. China, of course, with a growing tradition in ladies figure skating. Chen Lu winning in Birmingham in '95, winning the gold medal there. Dang Fan, one of the natural successors to her, but still with some way to go. But I love her style. Even a jumping style I love, but as we said, she missed out crucially once.
She certainly did. Yeah, she's very, very quick off the mark on those jumps. A real snap at the beginning, which is always nice to see. Very graceful, a lovely feel for the music, and some nice choreography there. But again, that Lutz, it's amazing. We haven't seen one really good combination yet this afternoon. It was a tough fall. Here's the axel at the beginning. Not a lot of speed into it, but clean off the outside edge going into the jump, and a beautiful soft landing coming out. Now, here we see the Lutz. Had a lean from the word go.
Got height.
She did. Made the rotation, but the skate's sliding away and straight down on her ribs. A really tough tumble. But she was quickly up and got the double toe loop. So 0.4 deduction there, and I had another 0.2 deduction on the flying spin because she didn't really get a good flying position in the air. There's the triple flip, and all credit to her coming back after a fall like that and nailing a triple flip of that sort of quality. Very good.
And she has a really pleasing style out there on the ice.
Yes, that 2 minutes and 40 seconds went by very quickly indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the marks, please, for Dan Fan, China.
So Jenna McCorkle leads at the moment. I wonder if she's going to be overtaken on the afternoon by Fang Dan.
If she is, it will have to be on the second set of marks, I think. The first set are going to be low.
Yeah, 3.62.44. Yeah, they are better. A lot better. Are they good enough? Well, she leads overall. It's going to be very close as to whether or not she leads on the night. On the afternoon, yes she does. First place for her, so Jenna second on the afternoon, but safely through to tomorrow afternoon.
representing Australia.
Now then,
Miriam MANZANO.
third World Championships. 16th she was in Nagano, but dropped to 26th last year, didn't qualify. 12th place in her qualification group. Skating to Enchanted Nymph. It's Miriam Manzano from Sydney, Australia. She land the Lutz. Yes. Triple Lutz, double toe. And the flip as well. Good double axel, very solid. Well, it's a sign of how the times are changing. We've had 10 of the leading figure skaters in the world, and it's an Aussie who I think is going to lead the way. That was the best so far. Really good technically. I think I'd like to have seen her skating to the music a bit more, particularly early on in the piece, but she certainly did in the latter part. But they will be thrilled with that.
Yes, they certainly will. It all seems a little old hat, didn't it? But technically, you can't take anything away from her. Nice triple Lutz double toe. Really well done on the triple flip. Fabulous job. Double axel as well, where she kept her nerve and just hung on in there. Great to watch.
Well, she was in 12th place in the group, so she was right on the edge of qualifying, but she'll safely qualify now.
Well, that's how it began. Look at the elevation on that Lutz. A lovely technique. Little tight, perhaps a bit stiff on the landing there, but really does have a strong back. Helps give her weight right over the skate. And here she is going in for the flip. She's singled out in this on her qualification, but no mistakes when it really mattered here in the short program. And the last element, of course, the double axel. The easiest of the jumps to do, but when you've done the other ones, there's always an air of caution going into it. Beautifully done.
And a really great reaction to her performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mark please for
Very well done, Miriam Manzano.
Australia.
Well, she was 16th in Nagano, then she could be moving in that direction. Might be even better if she can repeat this kind of performance tomorrow afternoon. 4.4 up to 5.2. These are the best marks we've seen. And up to 5.3. Perhaps a little unlucky on the first set of marks. I'd have given her a bit more.
I'm just looking down at the number of skaters we've still got to come, and I know there's loads of triple combinations lined up. There's some judges going to be in dire straits.
Nächste Läuferin.
The next skater.
Well, they got themselves in a pickle last night, which may have been one of the reasons why we had the farce of Ляшенко getting a 6 when he was on his backside. Here's the German national champion for the last 2 years. Well, Lindemann did his stuff. Is that going to be an inspiration for the enchanting-looking 20-year-old from Landshut, Annette Diert? 10th in a qualification. Can she reproduce the kind of form she showed on Wednesday, skating to Danse Macabre? Another who can't master the Lutz. Spot on with the toe loop though.
Question mark going into that. It should be linked with some sort of steps and just an inside 3 and then a long pause, so I'd have a deduction there. A bit of recentering on the flying camel as well.
Lovely double axel. And here's a skater who really does skate to her music with terrific style. So good. Loved it. It is possible for some lady skater to skate to the music. We haven't seen a lot of it, I have to say, this afternoon, but she did, and credit to her. And wasn't it a pleasing performance? Terrific talent. Of course, the mistake on the Lutz is going to be a big thorn in her side, but I just love the presentation.
Yeah, beautiful program. Just looking down, who's the choreographer? Tatiana Tarasova. Say no more, hey?
Yeah, it just was brilliant. By far the most enjoyable performance so far. I wouldn't think we're going to get more than a handful more enjoyable than that. We'll get better technically, that's for sure. But she really sold it well too.
Yeah, it is important when everybody's doing pretty much the same elements to really focus on the construction and quality of the program. And Tarasova comes up trumps time and time again with beautiful choreography, and she's a master at the footwork. Really does interpret every single beat.
Think what she could have done for you.
Hey, I needed more than Tarasova to get me in time. I still do. I'm always late. So here's the Lutz. Oh, a little bit late with that right side. Didn't keep it tight in there to make the rotation, so 0.4 straight away off there. You can see just a little short on the rotation. The top half of the body not as far around as the feet either. Here's a toe loop, but I would give her a 0.1 deduction for the question mark on the steps linking into that solo jump.
You're a brute.
Well, that's the way the judges will look at it. And there's also 0.1 for the
stop it,
flying spin. But,
you're making me depressed now.
So 0.6 deductions I've got. Nice double axel. But then the second set of marks will be very high.
Yes. And you loved it?
I did, enjoyed it immensely. Thought it was a beautiful program. Skated to the music. Kept your interest. It's a real pity that she didn't nail that Lutz. The quality of the triple toe loop was very good as well, although it's one of the easier triples. She had loads of elevation on it and a beautiful running edge coming out of it, so good quality there, which will help her.
A natural skater.
The range of marks between 3 and 4.
Yeah, as Chris forecasts, and some being more brutal than others, 3-3 up to 4-9. But good to see that they've gone with the presentation mark. It's going to be intriguing as to where she finishes. 10th place in her qualification. Is she going to finish above Manzano? Yes, she is.
Nächste Läuferin.
The next skater.
So she leads at the moment.
Representing Italy.
Valentina Marquez.
So the Italian now in her first World Championships, 17 years old, from Milan. Valentina Marquez. A young lady whose father was a double Olympic marathon competitor back in 80 and 84, so she should last the 2 minutes 40 here without too much trouble. You wouldn't write a script like this.
That was much better, triple flip, but a long pause going into that.
Well, they liked it here. Crowd are getting more and more into this. I think the performance of Annette Diaz has livened up the spectators around the rink. So everyone now starting to get more support than they were before. 11th in her qualification group. Again, the Lutz is the undoing of a top skater.
Yeah, real shame because she's got energy to burn, this girl. Really enjoy watching her skate because she's so fast across the ice. Good to see her come back and nail a lovely triple flip. But there was a long pause before it, so she'll get a deduction. It's for sure probably 0.1 for not really linking it with the steps. I had one other deduction, which was on the straight line step sequence. But let's look at the Lutz. See, just toppling off axis all the way through that, so no real way for her to recover there. So 0.4 down for that triple Lutz, 0.1 for not linking the flip in with the steps. And the straight line step sequence started 5 or 6 meters away from the boards. Here, look at the delay going into that. And the judges won't miss it, you can be sure. So as I was saying, the step sequence, she was 5 or 6 meters away from the end barrier, so there's going to be a 0.1 or 0.2 deduction there, so possibly 0.6, 0.7 the deductions for Valentina, which is a real shame. Nice double axel. Could have done with a little more elevation on it, but no deductions, that's the important thing. So again, we're going to see two very different sets of marks. Her first season of really competing at this level, and she's come into her own after beating Carolina KOSTNER in the Italian National Championships. And that was a real turn up for the books, I can tell you, and a shock for Carolina.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mammi, papi, auguri Marco! Dad, Cami! Ciao Pier!
Christina Mauri alongside her coach in Milan. 4-3 up to 5-3 for presentation. The judges giving this a lot of respect. So she's locked in third place behind Annette Diaz and Miriam Manzano. And Jenna McCorkle pushed down to 6th now with 18 to go, so confirmation that she will qualify. Not with the ease that I thought, but she's just squeezed in, and maybe a chance to move up even further tomorrow afternoon. There's confirmation. Annette Diaz in the lead just from Miriam Manzano. Valentina Marquet. Then it's Fang Dan, Susanna Babiakova, and in 6th place, Jenna McCorkle.
Well, Jenna's got a chance to move up one more place because Babiakova's just ahead of her, who finished behind her in the short program. So if somebody comes between them, there's a possibility that Jenna can move up one more place.
And then there's tomorrow afternoon, where we'd hope she might move up a couple.
Yes, absolutely.
So the ice resurface, the first of the 2 ice resurfaces, is just underway. In a minute we're going to be looking back to last night, but here's a guy who's going to help us do it. Here's Laurent Dupuis, Brian Joubert's coach, with Petra.
Laurent Dupuis, you have now a lot of time to watch the ladies' competition, and all are talking about Michelle KWAN, about her possibility for the 6th world title. What do you think about?
I think she's gonna do it because really, you know, I watch her on practice. She's gorgeous. She's phenomenal. Now she jumps. She's a little bit maybe more strong than I've never seen her. So, but in skating, she's very, very good.
She's working since half a year with Rafael Arutunian. Do you think he helped her about the techniques?
Yeah, because Rafael is really a fighter, man. So I think she needs to be confident with a coach, and Rafael is one of this. So no problem for her to win. I think so.
Okay, let's talk about other girls. You know the Italian very well, Valentina Marquet, who skated, and now in the 4th group, Carolina KOSTNER. What do you think about her?
Well, Carolina is very good, and she has a good coach, a German coach, you know, Michael Huth. And yeah, I spent some time, you know, some camp 3 years ago with Carolina and Valentina. So they were young, but they were good at the time.
Thank you very much, Laurent.
Bye.
Laurent Dupuy, who would have been ecstatic at the performance of Brian Joubert last night. He was diplomatic afterwards, but not absolutely sure whether he thinks secretly that Joubert should have won. Anyway, we'll see Carolina KOSTNER, as we said, in the fourth group, and we'll be looking back to last night in a moment, but first, a break.
And when you look at the amount of coaches that have left and training all around the world and training all sorts of nationalities, amazing
Die
to see.
Läuferinnen steht jetzt noch 1 Minute Einlaufzeit zur Verfügung.
So it'll be Suguri first for Japan,
There's 1 minute left in your
then
warm-up.
Viktoria Volchkova for Russia, Jennifer KIRK from the States, Sarah MEIER from Switzerland, Dora Hagel from Croatia, and Anne-Sophie Calvez last to go for France.
It's the Japanese that are making the challenge here in these World Championships, not from this young lady, but skaters we'll see later. Shizuka Arakawa, who's in incredible form, and Miki Ando, who has just raised her game at these World Championships and is electrifying. I can't wait.
But it is a shame to see Fumie down in third place, and we saw her in Nagano and again last year in Washington, and she is a talent. But something's happened this year, beaten in the Japanese nationals, and now only 8th place in a qualification.
Yeah, well, she didn't have a great skate. The flip was landed forwards, and problems on the triple loop. She fell on that as well. So she just needs to get that consistency, and it can happen. You can have a bad skate. That's sport. We saw Plushenko in the European Championships. You'd never believe that he could have a performance like that. So it happens to the best. The important thing is how quickly they bounce back after a bad skate.
Die nächste Läuferin
The next skater.
aus
So
Japan.
we start
Representing
with
Japan,
23-year-old Fumie Suguri, twice bronze medalist. No medal this time, skating for pride and hopeful of a place in the top 10, 8th in her qualification. Skating to the Rolling Stones, Paint It Black. Does land the triple lutz. Beautiful triple flip.
Well, this is an impressive start. Not only the quality of the elements, but the speed across the ice is great.
Super double axel. That's better. That's the kind of performance she hoped to find on Wednesday, and it was so elusive. But back in style. Too late to challenge for a medal this year. But she's not a past number, that's for sure. Don't count her out in future years. Fumie Suguri.
Well, that shows real character coming out, and no hesitation on that performance whatsoever. Loads of speed across the ice. She attacked the jumps. That was what came across to me, and I really enjoyed it. The presentation of the program, beautiful. Not really sure the choice of music was right for her, but goodness me, what a relief. You can see she found that tough, I think. Perhaps she's not 100% here in Dortmund. Unusual to see her puffing like that after a short program.
Yes, you saw the guy who welcomed her off. It's Nobuo Sato, the father of Yuko Sato, first lady from Japan to win an ISU championship since Suguri was the first lady from Japan when she won the Four Continents in 2001 to win an ISU championship since Sato won the Worlds in '94.
Just looking at those slow-mo shots there, the quality of the jumps from Fumie, very, very good indeed. Beautiful clean landings, lovely soft knee bend, and the use of the knees enabling her to maintain a beautiful running edge coming out of the jumps and keep the speed.
Well, there's a real chance of a Japanese world champion this year. Not with Fumie, but with Miki Ando and Shizuka Arakawa. There have been two Japanese world champions, Midori Ito and Yuka Sato.
Of course, the other skater we haven't talked about today is Sasha Cohen, who won her group, and she as well is, I mean, she's a fighter, we know that, but she's in good form, really good form.
Yes, not a shy individual, so you'd know about it.
You can't miss her when she's out there, and she doesn't give an inch.
5-0, wow. 5-7, good marks, very good marks. The judges having the guts to go for that. And right across the board, Suguri moves into first place, and she may well hold that place for some time now, maybe for the whole of this group and some of the next.
The next skater,
Viktoria Volchkova would love to prove me wrong.
representing Russia,
Viktoria Volchkova.
Never been on the podium at Worlds, it won't happen this time. Apparently, from all accounts, a little unlucky with her marks in qualification. Wasn't a bad skate at all. She was 7th, skating to Elvis's Heartbreak Hotel. Viktoria Volchkova from Moscow. Well done, triple Lutz, double toe.
Well, she gets so much height on these jumps.
Lands the flip.
A little dodgy on the landing of that double axel. Wasn't as clean as she would have liked.
That's a terrific comeback from Viktoria Volchkova, and I'm so pleased for her. She was ill just before Russian Nationals, finished 6th there, and the federation decided they couldn't take her to Europeans, but they've allowed her back in for Worlds, and they've been justified here. It's a strong team, isn't it? Slutskaya coming back from illness as well. Viktoria Volchkova and Elena Sokolova, their best chance of a medal.
Well, it really was a very, very strong performance. The only question mark I've got over it was a little slow across the ice. It looked to me as though she was just being cautious, really, really playing the game so she didn't make any mistakes. And all credit to her, she didn't. Lovely triple lutz at the beginning of the program. Watch the lift that she gets here. Beautiful technique. Only one other skater you're going to see jumping as high as that, and that's Julia Sebastian. Spins a little slow, but made the require rotations on all of them. And here she is setting up the flip. And again, beautiful technique. Had to work hard with that right knee and get that left leg back quickly to maintain that back outside edge. But beautiful to watch and good to see her back out here again. Well, there's a lot of people feeling that she was undermarked in her qualification. Did 5 triple jumps cleanly, fell on the last triple lutz, and she goes into this 7th in her qualification, which is a disappointment for her, but she's come back with a vengeance here in the short program.
Ladies and gentlemen, the marks please for Viktoria Volchkova, Russia.
Said Suguri was going to lead for some time. It's going to be a close run thing, I think.
You've got to take into consideration here the height and quality of those triple jumps. They were very, very good. She's going to lose a little bit on the spins, and perhaps the speed across the ice will affect her.
Oh yes, look at that, 5.6, but that judge way out of beam again. We don't know who it is, but those are better marks, and Suguri is going to drop. And Volchkova rewarded from a very pleasing performance. Same again tomorrow, please, Victoria. And good to see her in good humor.
Die nächste Läuferin
The next skater
aus den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika.
Now,
representing
from
the USA,
Jennifer,
KIRK.
3rd in US Nationals, but given a choice here. Jennifer KIRK skating to soundtrack from Chicago. Terrific combination.
That's the first triple-triple combination that we've seen so far in this championships, and there's many more planned.
She too comes a cropper on the Lutz. Well, that was fun.
Jennifer.
I think Jennifer a little cool about it because of the mistake, obviously, on the Lutz, but it was a very pleasing performance, terrific choreography, and very well skated to the music. Loved it. It's not going to be one of the leaders, that's for sure, but it was good fun.
Yeah, it really was a great idea and a good approach. We've seen many skaters choose that choice of music, the Chicago soundtrack, but not many of them put together a program like that. And Richard there saying that's too bad, Jenny, and it really is. A little too cautious, held back a bit. Well, she wasn't cautious with the combination at the beginning, and she wasn't cautious with the presentation. A real cheeky choreography to this program. Here's that Lutz. Very early with the top half of the body, and a lean down there on the right hand side. Didn't really get enough pop on that, but loved some of these little pieces.
Great hand gestures.
Tremendous charisma. And here's this combination right at the beginning. The triple toe. Long and low on that first one. Gives her plenty of momentum for the second one. You can see there, they're getting more height on the second part of that combination, which is the ideal way to do it. Difficult to achieve.
World Junior Champion some 4 years ago. At that stage, I think a lot of people had her marked out as the new star from the States, but things didn't happen for her. Sarah Hughes, of course, went from nowhere to win the Olympic gold, and Sasha Cohen, she got a little bit left behind. And it must have been difficult for her seeing skaters she regarded as close rivals going on to win major honors. Still not too late, she's still a teenager.
But that's the thing in the States, isn't it? There's so many people skating, so many rinks, something like 2,000 ice rinks in the States, with or hundreds of thousands of people skating. So their chances of getting a champion are colossal, and you can never count your chickens. You've got to fight to earn your place, and that's healthy for competition.
Richard Callahan, of course, used to coach Michelle KWAN, who later on will be aiming for a 6th World Championship.
Nächste Läuferin.
Now here's Sarah MEIER.
Representing Switzerland,
Sarah MEIER.
Hasn't done well in World Championships to date. Poor last year, 19th. And only 9th in the qualification. Looking for better here. Sarah MEIER from Bulak in Switzerland.
Really good start. Triple Lutz, double toe loop. Good height and speed on that.
And a triple flip to follow.
That was nicely integrated with the steps as well.
Yes. You can see the relief.
Sarah MEIER.
Must have been awful on Wednesday, and a sense that the disappointments of last year were going to return. But now, that's a good launch pad. So much depends, of course, on what happens tomorrow afternoon. It's worth 50% of the marks alone, the free. But she's now got herself in a position where she can look upwards and see if she can make a challenge towards a top 10 place.
Well, that really was a mammoth skate. She's dug herself out of the gutter, really, after the performance in the qualification, and totally relieved to have done so. That's a launch pad into the free now, really.
Well, she's not going to beat, I would imagine, the marks of Suguri or Volchkova. It's for Suguri, who still leads, intently. It looked like Volchkova was going to overtake her, but it's not the case. Suguri leads, Volchkova second. And I would imagine that Sarah MEIER will slip into third place here.
Technically, the program was very good indeed. And they will be thrilled to see her come back and lay down a performance like that. So important. Here's the flip.
Free leg off.
Free leg stayed off. The one question mark going into that, which the judges will pick up on their video screens, is that the left foot was on an outside edge and not an inside edge. So it could be a deduction, or there will be a deduction, because that's the difference between the flip and the Lutz, the edge that the left foot is on. There's the double axel. Not tremendous height on that, but nicely landed. But Volchkova had a bit of a dicey landing on her double axel, but the other elements pristine, clean, and very, very strong indeed.
Yes, I wouldn't imagine that the marks are going to be better than Volchkova's, but they'll be close. That pleading look up towards the scoreboard. They are good. 4.8 up to 5.5. The presentation just around the same. Where they're going to place a fourth. A little unlucky, I think. Behind Jennifer KIRK.
When you consider that Jennifer took a tumble, she's very unlucky, I think.
Nächste Läuferin
The next skater
aus Kroatien.
representing Croatia,
So
Idora
now-
Hegel.
The Croatian national champion for the last 4 years. 20 years old, she'll be 21 next Saturday. Skating to gypsy songs. It's Idora Hegel. 8th in her qualification. Triple Lutz double toe, but she had to put a turn in.
So there's a 0.1 deduction for putting 3 turn in between the 2 jumps. She didn't put the free leg down. No problems with the loop. Very solid on the landing.
Not bad, not in the same class, I don't think, though, as some that we've seen in this group. Seguri, Volchkova, Sarah Meyer, even Jennifer Kirk.
Hegel.
She's done well to get into this group. I'm not sure that she's going to advance any after this short program. Got to 14th in the Worlds back in Nagano 2 years ago, but last year down to 24th. I think somewhere in between is going to be her likely position at the end of tomorrow.
Yo, yo, she says as she comes off. That was a gutsy performance. She gave it her best shot. And of course, all the skaters going into the competition have their own goals. And here she is setting up the loop. Beautiful, solid landing on the end of that. And not really integrated in with the steps beforehand, so it could be a 0.1, 0.2 deduction going into that. Nice double axel, left forward outside edge. And she is very, very solid on those landings, even when she's oscillating a little bit on the jump. She really is so strong that she's able to maintain a good back outside edge. Just the presentation and the character not coming across as much as it possibly could.
Because again, I don't think until the last part where it really warmed up, but she was skating very well to the music there, but early on seemed to be large passages where her performance and the music didn't seem to have a great relationship with each other.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get the balance right where you're focusing and concentrating so hard. There aren't many sports like this, are there, where you've got to concentrate on the technical side of the sport, but you've got to look pretty and put on a show as well.
No.
You'd struggle with that, wouldn't you, Simon? Well, looking pretty.
No,
put on a show.
It's never a problem for David Beckham, is it, when he lines up a free kick, actually hitting it to the music?
No, that's right.
No.
Between 4:08 and 5:03. Thank you.
But he does look pretty. So I'm told. 5th place then for Hagel. Oh, he's got one of your hats, look.
He has. I wondered where I'd put it. Put it down on the side and it was gone.
Next skater,
Aus Frankreich,
representing France.
Anne-Sophie Calfes.
So now, last to go in this group, 9th place. In exalted company, really. Had a terrific skating qualification. She's done well. You talked about the horizons that they've got. She will be very pleased to be in this group. Can she justify it? Anne-Sophie Calvez from France. Triple toe, it was a fight. I think it was just about okay.
She had to put a turn on the landing to maintain control, but well done, and she worked hard. Good height on that flying sit.
Flip. Yes. Fantastic skate. Again, putting it in perspective, she doesn't have the same targets as Suguri or Volchkova. And I think she'll be absolutely delighted with what she's achieved both on Wednesday and here again today. And I think if she can get into the top 15 or anything like that, that will be a major achievement. Didn't go to Europeans. The French Federation nominated the French champion Candice Didier, but she didn't make the final free program. So they decided to go with Anne-Sophie here, and they've been justified. Good decision.
Yeah, it really was, and she's come out with the attitude that she's got something to prove, and boy oh boy did she prove it. There's that triple toe, checks the left arm, good elevation on the second one, had to work hard, a little bit of a lean on the landing there, but kept the free leg off. That was the important thing. So triple toe, the combination there right at the beginning of the program, then a gorgeous triple flip. I think this is it here, linked in with the steps well, no hesitation. Look at the height, beautifully clean, lovely right knee bend on that landing, and allows herself a smile at that point. The choice of music I've got a bit of a question mark over, because it's probably a calming influence for her in the short program. Doesn't allow her to get hyped up and make any silly errors, but it would have been nice to have had something a little quicker towards the end of the program. There's the double axel, the last element. Just something to raise the atmosphere. But goodness me, very well done, Anne-Sophie. She'll take that.
Wonderful shot. Really good stuff. Gwendolyn Pesarau, the French team leader. He'll have no problems with her for the rest of this week.
Marks for required elements. The range of marks which means
3.9, please. Come on.
What is that? That may be a mistake. You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Well, it is a mistake. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it may have been a finger problem.
Okay.
Rather than a brain fuse. Either way.
10th place. Goodness me.
No, that's ridiculous. Anyway, let's hope that, well, 5th place, that's not too bad. That's really what she'd settle for. 5th with 12 to go puts her around 17th, and an outside shot of making the top 15, which is what I suggested.
Warm-up for the skaters with the starting numbers 19 to 24.
Right then, into the penultimate group.
Auch diese Läuferin möchten wir wieder
And here we've got
Sie dazu bitte auch auf die
Joannie Rochette
Videowände.
from Susanna Susanna POYKIO from Finland, Elena LIASHENKO from Ukraine,
Joannie Rochette,
Carolina KOSTNER from Italy, Jennifer Robinson from Canada, and Irina Slutskaya. Yeah, she's in this penultimate group from Russia. Joannie Rochette, 18 years old from Canada, finished 5th in her group.
Die Läuferin mit der Startnummer 21.
17th in the Worlds last
Aus
year.
der Ukraine, representing Ukraine, Elena Liashenko.
There's Elena Liashenko. Did so well in Budapest, in 2nd place, won the silver medal. But a week after, Europeans had surgery on her left foot to remove a cyst, and not quite ready, really, for Worlds, which is why she only managed 4th place in her qualification group.
Ein Kostüm lila und schwarz aus Kanada, representing Canada, Jennifer Robinson.
Jennifer Robinson in her 6th World Championships, best she's achieved, 8th in Nice in 2000. There's the coach, Doug Lee. 6th Jennifer in her qualification.
Die Läuferin im dunkelblauen Röckchen
Carolina KOSTNER
und ihrer schwarzen Jacke aus Italien, representing Italy, Carolina
cousin and godchild of Isolde KOSTNER, the formidable Italian skier. So she feels inspired by her, and she was terrific. I remember in the European Championships last year, finished in 4th place. Not so successful so far this year, and 6th place in her qualification. There, the former champion, Irina Slutskaya. Champion in 2002 in Nagano. Won the European Championships the following year, but didn't compete in the Worlds. She's been suffering from this blood disorder and not entirely ready. Says that some days are better than others. She feels really tired. Most days, some days more. And let's hope it's not one of those days here.
This is probably one of the worst arenas for her to skate in if she's not feeling 100%. Shouldn't have too much effect on the short program, but when it comes to the free, it could be very testing for her. But good to see her here. First competition of the season.
Und die Läuferin mit der Startnummer 20, ihr Kleid ist rot und
Susanna Poykio
aus Finnland, representing
did
Finland.
really well in her qualification group, finished in the 4th place, never got in the top 10 in Worlds. Well, she's in a position now to do that. Good in Europeans. There seems to have been a big improvement this year for Susanna Poykio. Lovely style to her skating.
Yeah, she's a beautiful technician and just gorgeous to watch. So if she can get it together, who knows, she could be getting herself into a situation where she's in the final group for the free. And that's the goal of a lot of these ladies in this group. You can see from that shot, the place has filled up somewhat since we started, what, a couple of hours ago.
There, backstage, the inimitable Sasha Cohen, blocking out any distractions. There's the president of the ISU. Good to hear he's not being booed today. A lot of people misunderstanding what he's all about. And in many ways he's dragged the ISU forwards. Sometimes the committee have been a little unwilling, but I think he has done a really good job at the top of the sport. And he's been in charge of one of the most difficult periods for the sport. Even these days, there are big financial problems around it. Obviously, sponsorship not what it was. TV revenue is not what it was. And talk that next year the Grand Prix financial rewards will not be the same. So that's a difficult one to sell to the skaters.
Well, it works both ways as well, doesn't it? Because if the revenue's down for the competition, because of the TV rights, you can guarantee that there won't be the number of shows for the skaters to perform in. So in all areas, the skaters not earning as much as in the heyday a couple of years ago. But things go in cycles, and I'm sure it'll get back. I think there was a bit of overkill, to be honest.
Yes, it went crazy after the Kerrigan-Harding affair, didn't it? Particularly in the States. But no doubt, and it's been endorsed by the viewing figures that we've had this week, it is a very popular television sport, and we hope it continues to be so.
Well, it'd be great to see her skate anywhere near her best. He looks more relaxed today, doesn't he?
Mr. Mission.
Ladies, this is the end of your warm-up. Please clear the ice. Thank you.
And those cheeks look a bit rosy, don't you?
Yes, can't imagine how that could have happened.
No.
Ляшенko's coach, and a very contented man. You know, if he did have a bottle of wine last night, he deserved it. So it'll be Rochette here to go first for Canada. Then Poykio, then Ляшенко, then Kostner, then Robinson, then Slutskaya. 17th last year. Looking for much, much better. 5th in a qualification group. Here's Joannie Rochette from Montreal. Triple Lutz, double toe. Lovely triple flip. Well done. Second in Canadian Nationals.
Joannie Rochette.
Fourth in the Four Continents Championship. And a really good series so far. Fifth in her qualification. And she's going to be inside the top 10 for sure going into the free.
Well, she couldn't have skated that any better. Very, very well done. Nice program. Enjoyed it. Beautiful interpretation. And technically very good indeed. She's a strong skater. And a very crisp timing on the jumps. And here it is, clean to see. Beautiful tight position in the air. Nice double toe loop on the end of that triple Lutz. She loved it. It's amazing, isn't it, how the Canadians travel the world to support their skaters. Really is fantastic. There's the triple flip.
Amazing how they get away with headgear like that, though.
But they're easily recognizable. Beautiful program. I didn't spot any deductions there. Here's the double axel. Should be able to spot this one by now. Not a lot of elevation on that, but no problems, cleanly landed. And the end of the combination spin.
Yes, there was a lot of strength about that performance, wasn't there? Mental strength and physical strength.
Well, we talked about people coming on first after the warm-up, the advantages and disadvantages. It's always nice to skate as late in the competition as you can because the marks tend to go up. But the benefit of coming on after the warm-up is you don't have the opportunity to go backstage and start getting those negative thoughts brewing in your brain.
So good experience.
Thank you.
Well, you know. The presentation. A little better. First place overall. Not first place on the afternoon, though. That still belongs to Suguri. There's the five-time champion backstage.
Finland. Representing Finland.
Second to go in the final group. So, Susanna Poykio, fourth in her qualification. Never been in the top 10, but has given herself a real chance to do it this time. Music from Henry VIII. Suffering from an ankle injury this year. Didn't compete in Finnish Nationals, but of course she was going to come here. Double axel to start. Triple Lutz double toe loop. No problem. Only a double flip. And there'll be 0.4 off for that. Well, it was lovely, but there's a mute point about that flip at the end. I said there was an automatic 0.4 deduction. Well, she is allowed to do a double or a triple, so in fact that's erroneous information. But the problem is that it was only a double. If she meant it only to be a double, I can't believe she went into that jump thinking it was going to be a double. If she did, she's in the wrong group. But it turned out to be a double, and it will hurt her, no doubt.
Yeah, it certainly will. No, there's no doubt she was going in for a triple. Just pop the jump, and she'll be bitterly disappointed about that. Of course, the tariff for the double much lower than it would have been if it had been a triple. But a beautifully skated program, and she will kick herself for it when she sees the marks. Started off well with a lovely double axel this at the beginning. Not many of the skaters doing the double axel at the beginning. I think we've had a couple that have done so. It's sometimes a good idea because it just settles you down, particularly if you've had a bit of a wait between the warm-up and your time to skate. But, there it was, no problems. Here she is setting up the Lutz into the corner. Nice outside edge, beautiful position in the air. Very, very tight and quick rotation. I love the landing position. Such a strong back. Lovely sequence of spirals in the middle. And one of the required elements. And then it all went horribly wrong on the flip. Beautiful spins. Nice footwork. And a well-balanced program. But one big error. And this was it. She's setting it up.
Looked to be so well balanced. I can't work out still why she only doubled out.
Well, sometimes when you go into the jump, if you miss that moment where you get the snappy rotation, there's nothing you can do. The rotation's too slow. She'll have got to a point where it would have felt loose, and you just can't go through with it. You have to salvage something, and that's all she could do. She'd missed the point, missed the pop.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mark, please, for Susanna.
First finish lady ever to medal at an ISU championship when she won bronze at the Worlds 3 years ago.
For required elements.
But it hasn't happened for World Seniors for her. 11th the best she's done, and she's going to do well to get in the top 10 this time. Good marks for presentation. Look at that. Right up to 5.7, but the damage is done, I'm afraid, from the first set. So fourth.
In fourth position.
And that's not good enough for her. 10 still to go.
Nächste Läuferin.
The next skater.
Aus der Ukraine.
So next to go from
Elena
the Ukraine, bronze,
Liashenko.
silver medalist in Budapest. And won the bronze at Europeans right in this rink in the European Championships back in 1995. So good memories for her. Can she make them count here? Elena Liashenko. Good start. Triple lutz, double toe. Double-footed, looked like it on the flip.
Yeah, she certainly was. Didn't quite get the footwork right going into the flip.
Well, one just minor flaw we spotted with a double-footed landing on the flip.
Liashenko.
But it must have been difficult for her after Budapest. She had this cyst which was irritating a nerve, had to have it removed, and even after the operation she said she was still feeling some pain, and practice has been reduced for sure. Irina Amakanova, she'll know better than anyone what the horizons were this time. Maybe she had no chance of a medal.
Yeah, it's a real shame because she's had the performance, or the season of her life. She's won 2 ISU Grand Prix events this year, which is unbelievable. 4th in the Grand Prix finals and silver medal in the European Championships. And to have that happen to her in the middle of the season is a real pity. Now, she started off well here, and I thought it was all going to be okay. But as the program progressed, you could see that possibly there hasn't been the training there. A good slow-mo, you can see that outside edge of that left foot going into the Lutz. Nice double toe on the end. And here's the flip. Now watch this, she stumbles a little bit, she puts the left foot down. Actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought the going in, but certainly a touchdown with the left foot on the way out, and she knows how important that is. 0.2 deduction straight away for that on the flip. And the way the programs are panning out now, it's going to be very important. Double axel not as clean as the sort of jumps we're used to seeing from her.
Remember, at the moment it's Joannie Rochette who leads for Canada. Suguri in second place, the leader in the afternoon. Still hers is the best short program so far, even though it was, what, an hour ago?
Yeah, it's quite incredible, isn't it? The way it's all sorting itself out. It's going to be a difficult one for the judges. You know, if we get a few clean programs from here on in, some of those judges are going to find themselves in all kinds of problems because they haven't got many marks left.
Ladies and gentlemen, the marks please for Elena LIASHENKO.
So the second set we can be sure are going to be better than the first. Irina helping her acknowledge her fans.
Between 4-9 and 5-3.
Oh, not good. 4-9 up to 5.3 there. You can see how they might have been. But Elena is going to struggle to get into the top 10 this time. Second at the moment with 9 to go. Still, it's Suguri who leads on the afternoon.
Representing Italy.
Now,
Carolina KOSTNER
young lady who really captivated us when she burst on the scene last year, still only 17 years of age. In fact, only just 17 years of age, 17 last month. Skating to a song from A Secret Garden. Here's Carolina KOSTNER, 6th in her qualification. Good stuff, triple flip, triple toe. And a triple loop beautifully at the end of the steps. Lovely, and listen to the response. A few have made the trip from Bolzano, but it's the home crowd here responded to her character. There's a real freshness about her, and it's beautifully transmitted across the ice.
Well, she's got a lot of German friends, spends a lot of time training in Oberstdorf. And that really was a fantastic performance. Really enjoyed it. She's been so consistent and has a wonderful, wonderful jumping technique. Just incredible. The speed across the ice. Wow. There's Michael Hook breathing a sigh of relief, who coaches her down in Oberstdorf.
Look at the relief.
Tanti conservando for life.
Well done. The pressure, you could just sense it unfolding.
Well, here it is, the big combination. She can do triple flip, triple toe, triple loop. I've seen her do that in practice. She's just so tight in the air, and he's happy with that. Fantastic. And the triple loop, not a problem for her. Winds it up from the outside threes.
And that really was out of nowhere.
Well, winding it off the back outside threes is an exercise you use to learn to get your rotation. So it's something she's really familiar with doing. And here's the last of the elements, the double axel. Not one of her best jumps. You can see she doesn't get an awful lot of height on that, but she's so tight in the air, it doesn't matter. I thought the spins were very good indeed. Loved the choreography, really skated to the music. A lovely feel. Megan Smith, the choreographer. Really super to watch.
Strong young lady. And obviously strength goes in the family with his older. Mental strength as well. Could feel the relief pouring out of her there, but when it mattered, boy, she was strong.
Well, the judges have got to go with that because the technical content was very, very good indeed.
So Suguri, who's led for the last hour as far as this short program is concerned, that lead is now gone. Look at that, very well grouped for the elements. 5.5 up to 5.8. And presentation just a fraction lower, but not much. That's great from Carolina KOSTNER. She'll be in the top 10 this time, 10th last year. Got a chance of going a lot higher now. She leads overall and in the afternoon with 8 to go. Slutskaya preparing.
The next skater.
She'll be one after this.
Representing Canada, Jennifer Robinson.
Jennifer Robinson, who has been Canadian champion for the last 6 years. Best she's done in Worlds, 8th in Nice 4 years ago, 6th in her qualification. Only got her place here because there's a new sensation in Canada, a 15-year-old Cynthia Phaneuf, who's been sent to the World Juniors instead of seniors. She won Canadian Nationals. Triple Lutz, double toe. Flip. Did that free leg hit the ice?
No, cleanly landed. Just about scraped the rotation round.
She'll be happy with that. That's about as good as she can skate. Whenever I see Jennifer, I'm always in awe of the fact that she keeps on putting out performances like that. She's not the most talented skater around. There's no doubt about that. And most of them in this group have got more talent than she has. But she makes the most of herself, really gives it everything. You can see the commitment to everything that she does. And she's got a chance of being in the top 10. And if she does so, I think that is one heck of an achievement.
Thank you.
I'm with you there. She gave that her best shot, and there, Doug Lee saying he's proud of her, and that's credit indeed. And so it should be, because she went out there and absolutely did her best, and must have been disappointed to lose the national title. Cynthia Fanoff, the new champion, saw her in the Junior World Championships where she didn't skate well at all. But a few months earlier in Sofia, I saw her there and she skated a blinder, a real talent she is. So over the next few seasons, Jennifer's got her work cut out.
You've been stalking her.
Hey. I wouldn't go that far.
But she's good, yeah?
Oh, really, really good, yeah. Great to watch. There you can see on the slow-mo, only just making the rotation on the triple flip. That's part of the problem. It doesn't give you as good a quality on the running edge if you don't get the full rotation. Quarter of a turn short.
This must have been a big come down. 6 times national champion, only 3rd in Canadian nationals this year.
Yeah, it must have been a big shock for her. But as you rightly say, Simon, she most of the time takes advantage of the opportunities given to her, and she's done that out here this afternoon. Double axel tends to be a little high with the free leg, particularly on the last half of the jump, which doesn't help the look of the jump, and of course makes the rotation slower because she's not as tight in the air. The Canadian fans that have made the trip will be thrilled with that performance.
Scrunch nose and the intensity and thank you. Proud of you too.
Mutual Admiration Society.
Canada. The marks for required elements. The range of marks.
She's down 8th in these. 4.6 up to 5.3. They're not very happy with those. Presentation, well, on 5.7. Judges pretty split there. So where's she going to spot? Oh, 7th. That's not good. And you can see they're trying to come to terms with those marks. Onwards and upwards, though, to the champion in Nagano. Didn't compete last year. Has had this blood disorder, which has severely disrupted her preparation. So she's really tired some days. Let's see how she can cope here. We wish her the best. She is a glorious skater at her best. Is it her best here? Only 5th in qualification. Rondo Cappuccioso for Irina Slutskaya. 3-time European champion, 4-time European champion, and once world champion. Triple Lutz, double toe. Oh, and all wrong there on what should have been the triple flip. Double axel's all right though. Good to hear the applause, because make no mistake, that wasn't the real Irina Slutskaya out there.
Irina Slutskaya.
Obviously the illness has taken its effect. You can see she's not as fit as she was before. Only she knows how tired she is, and falling on the triple flip or making the mistake on the triple flip is not her. This is, there was a kind of strange looking smile she had on her face, as if she knew it was going to happen. She wasn't well prepared, and this is almost the inevitable result.
Yeah, preparation is everything in any sport, and when you've only been on the ice since, well, January really, to any level, it's just not enough time. And she said herself, she's just happy to be here, and to have got herself back to any shape after how bad she's been is quite fantastic. And she started off well. Here's the Lutz. Not a great landing on it. You can see over the toe, not a lot of momentum, so just double toe on the end.
To put it into perspective, this is her first championship of the season.
First competition of any sort.
Yeah.
So she's not been able to do anything. So she's had no preparation whatsoever. And here's the flip. Just let it all go too early, and really, really loose on that.
There's the smile. And it was hardly a false smile. It was one of almost acceptance.
Yeah. She's just enjoying it, isn't she? It's wonderful to see, actually. It's a relief, isn't it?
Well, she always did have a terrific attitude to competition, whatever the situation.
The Bielmann spin. So obviously a 0.4 deduction for that mistake on the flip, and the quality of the toe loop at the end of the Lutz will not have helped her. And apart from that, everything else looked good.
And to be honest, going for a medal now is, well, it was always a forlorn hope, and now it's a distant memory for this year. It doesn't matter where she finishes. She could finish 6th or 11th, it doesn't matter. So I think she'll just skate tomorrow and have fun.
Yeah, but you can bet your bottom dollar she'll go out there tomorrow just to try to pull back up a little bit if she possibly can. And she'll give it her best shot.
But I think just giving it a best shot rather than thinking about pulling up from, I don't know, 9th to 7th. I don't think that kind of thing really enters her mind.
No. I think with most of the skaters, to be honest with you, their focus has to be on their own performance, because at the end of the day, they can't control what the judges do anyway. So they're all trained to really focus on the performance and not the result.
Well, she's never been the judge's best friend, even when she was right at the top of the tree. Good marks for presentation. Remember the Olympics.
Yes.
Well, they've put her in 2nd place, which I think is very kind indeed. For that 2nd overall. And 3rd on the afternoon. Behind KOSTNER and Suguri. 2nd, as you can see, after the short program. Those are the points after the short program rather than the short program themselves. Carolina KOSTNER leads then. Irina Slutskaya in second, Fumie Suguri in third, although hers is the second best routine so far. Joannie ROCHETTE, railed under her, in fourth. Ляшенко fifth, Волчкова sixth, and they're lower down. Good stuff from Jennifer Robinson getting in the 8th place. But all of those are going to fall another 6 for sure. So Jenna McCorkle in 18th place at the moment. Good news is that she will qualify for the free tomorrow afternoon, which of course you can see live here on British Eurosport. So all of those will qualify, and all of them on the next page won't. So we've got the final group still to go, but in around 20 minutes time the ice has got to be resurfaced, and then we'll be ready to rumble. Plenty for you meanwhile though, so be back with us straight away. Packed to capacity for sure tomorrow with the ladies free. There's the order. Miki Ando, I have to say I haven't seen so far, but Chris has given me the thumbs up. He says she's absolutely outstanding, but all eyes will be on Michelle KWAN, that's for sure. The 5-time world champion, less than herself in qualification.
Die letzte Startgruppe möchten wir Ihnen vorstellen. Beachten Sie dazu bitte auch die Videowende.
Can she get respectability back here?
Mit der
From all accounts, her practices have been nigh on sensational, but it wasn't right. She said it didn't feel like her out there on Wednesday.
Michelle KWAN.
Couldn't get over her skates.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. You get out on the ice and you just feel like you can't get into the ice. You feel like you've almost got somebody else's skates on. And there's her new coach, Alatunian, and she feels that he's given her an awful lot of confidence and some inspiration. We're looking forward to seeing how that goes.
She calls him a genius. Says that he's been responsible for her finding out the differing relationships of blades and boots.
Shizuka Arakawa.
Shizuka Arakawa. See, with the left thigh pretty well strapped up.
I'm not surprised when you see these girls jump. Taking some tumbles and some real stresses and strains on the legs.
Shot of Tatiana Tarasova, who's been with Arakawa since February. And there is Miki Ando.
Aus Japan, representing Japan.
World Junior Champion, her first World Seniors.
Well, there's a real buzz around the rinks here about the performance of Miki Ando. Even since the Junior World Championships, she seems to have really risen her game to compete with the best in the world. The Junior Worlds, she said she felt a bit nervous and a bit under pressure. She feels no pressure here, and she really has just raised it a touch. And even her coach is surprised.
She's a strong customer for 16 years of age. I might go a little quiet here. Elena Sokolova.
Rot-schwarz-goldenen Kleid
That'll be a pleasure.
aus Russland, representing Russia.
Sokolova in the form of her life in the final group.
And Sokolova at her best is a sight for sore eyes.
Well, the qualification Group B was very exciting with Sasha Cohen winning and Sokolova in second place, but Sokolova really did give her a run for her money.
And there's the European champion from Hungary, Julia SEBESTYEN. Never done it in the Worlds, never got close really, 7th back in 2000 in Nice, but has marked time at 14th last year. It's ridiculous for someone of her talent.
Yeah, while we're talking about Julia, we had some emails asking where Viktoria Pavuk was, the sensation from the European Championships. Of course, Hungary only have one place here because of Sebastian's performance last year. So
representing the USA, Sasha Cohen.
Look at that for focus and concentration.
This looks to be a little stronger this year than last. New coach Robin Wagner, who took Sarah Hughes to the Olympic title. Had one or two messages about Sarah Hughes asking where she is. Well, she's a pro skater. She's also doing some stuff at university. And it seems to be the run at the moment that they win the Olympics very young and then retire. Except for Michelle, who, of course, has never won Olympics. It's the one thing she hasn't won. She's still talking about Turin. Maybe a possibility for her in 2006. It's possibly the one thing that keeps her going, because she's done everything else.
And she's still only 23. You forget that, don't you? She's been around so long, you think that she's much older. But, she's got time on her side.
So unlucky in the Olympics back in 98 in Nagano, where she skated the performance of her life and was beaten by Tara Lipinski. And it could not have been closer.
She looks very relaxed, just hasn't done an awful lot out there on the warm-up.
Shizuka Arakawa, who got a standing ovation after her qualification. Maya Usova and Evgeny Platov, together with Tatiana Tarasova. A lot of people might be a little confused that you can have ice dancing coaches who can make this transition straight away. Well, Tarasova did it with Yagodin, so it obviously works. Doesn't surprise you?
Not really. I think the way the jumps have progressed so much, the techniques are nothing like the techniques that I was using when I was skating, so we've all had to learn, and there's no reason why the dance coaches can't do that. And they'll get people involved as well. They'll get other people on board to work on the technical stuff. It's a real team effort now. The coach's role has become more of a managerial role.
Miki Ando with Nobuo Sato, Yuka Sato's dad. So he knows what it's like to train a world champion. Will Japan have their third tomorrow afternoon? It could happen. So it's a little top-heavy, isn't it, with perhaps the two favourites for gold going first and second.
I don't think Sasha Cohen would like to hear you say that.
No,
Ladies,
I'm sure she wouldn't, but that's the truth.
Please clear the ice. Thank you.
She has yet to do it. So it'll be Ando first for Japan, Kwan second for the States, then Arakawa for Japan, then Sokolova for Russia. Sasha Cohen goes fifth, and Julia Sebestyen will go last. Just 16 years of age. She started skating at the age of 9. 2 years later, she could do a triple.
Aus Japan.
Representing Japan, Miki Ando.
Now from Yokohama City, in her first Worlds, the World Junior Champion. She's skating to the pianist, Miki Ando. Second in a qualification, with a real medal chance. Triple Lutz, triple loop. Out of this world. A triple flip to follow. Again, no problem. What a performance. 16 years of age in her first World Championships. Well, she said that her heroine when she was growing up was Yuka Sato. Now she's coached by Yuka's dad, and she may follow Yuka in another way. She may become world champion, and it could be this year. Certainly, that performance has given her the platform to do it.
She's an incredible performer. It's just amazing. What a wonderful combination at the beginning of the program. The triple lutz, triple loop, much harder to put the loop in combination because you can't take the free leg back to help you stop the rotation. Fantastically performed. She'll suffer a little bit because of the balance of the program. And that means the fact that the three jumps followed each other and there were no elements in between. If she'd have put the double axel, say, towards the end of the program, that would have helped the balance of the program. But apart from that, you couldn't fault it. Fantastic. Well, she was great in Junior Worlds, but she really has raised her level here. She can do quadruple salto, triple axel.
I don't know about you, I had absolute confidence in everything that she did, and when she did that spin at the end, well, that really just finished it off.
Here's a good look at that Lutz, really making sure of that outside edge of the left foot going into it. Keeps the left leg in front for the loop. Just about makes 3 turns on that triple loop, but beautifully soft. Nobu, hardly any reaction there. He didn't expect anything less. And to be honest, the way she's been skating this week, I don't think many people did. It's a formality.
Well, the pressure's going to be on even more tomorrow afternoon, but to be honest, you can't imagine her crumbling under it.
No, I don't think so. I think she's come out here, she's enjoying the experience of her World Championships. The draws really helped her here because all she had to do was go and skate clean and put pressure on the skaters that are to follow. And she's done that now. She's made the mark, thrown down the gauntlet, and they've got to pick it up now.
Yeah, surely she's going to be in the top 3 tomorrow, and if she is, it means that she can win the free. That's simple, isn't it? And she wins the gold.
Look at that.
They are good marks. Very solid indeed. The best set of marks we've seen so far. Carolina KOSTNER was leading. She will need no more.
Miki Ando, Japan is currently in first.
One judge has her in 6th place. Excuse me.
That's incredible.
Kindly leave the rink. So Ando does what she had to do.
Aus den Vereinigten
Now
Staaten
then,
von Amerika.
can Michelle KWAN, who had a very different experience in her qualification, can she recapture some of the luster that seemed to go on Wednesday? The 5-time world champion. Skating to Peter Gabriel's The Feeling Begins. about double axel. Triple lutz, double toe. Triple flip, beautifully clean. Now she can sell it. Yes. 2 days after one of her worst moments on the ice, Michelle KWAN comes back to say that she's far from a past number here, sets her stall out, and she is back in contention for gold here.
But that really was very, very good indeed. A triple flip in that program to die for. Just fantastic. Her jumps definitely look stronger this season. She's getting more lift on them, and that was always a negative factor in her skating. She really sold that program, and she is back. There is no doubt about that. Wonderful performance. Well, she made 2 mistakes in her qualification. Singled on the loop right at the beginning and fell on the lutz at the end.
There's the new coach, Rafael Arutunian, who she's been with this season. She says he's a genius. I would think he'd probably repay the compliment. And she's going to go, I think, back to the top. Technically, perhaps not quite as difficult as Ando's program with the jumps, but artistically, obviously, she's got the maturity.
Yeah, she has. The step work was probably a little more difficult from KWAN. The quality of the flip, perhaps a little better. But here's the combination at the beginning, just triple-double. No doubt in the quality. Look at that beautiful running edge on the way out of it. Double axel, beautiful. And again, when you watched her, there was no doubt, was there? I had a really good feeling all the way through this.
Yes. Interested. The response from Michelle wasn't as Californian as sometimes it is.
At the end of the program, do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. It was a little muted, wasn't it?
It was, as if that's a little bit of the job done. The big job happens tomorrow afternoon.
And there was a little bit of take that, so I made a mistake a couple of days ago. Well,
yes, certainly in the performance.
Not today.
Not a semblance of a mistake.
Did you doubt me?
Now she can afford a smile. Great to see her. What a queen of figure skating she's been. It's a real shame she hasn't won Olympics, but boy, she's mopped up on the World Championships. 5-1 for the elements. No wonder he's shaking his head. That is just ridiculous, and I don't think the rest of the marks have done her any favour. Great for presentation, some 5.9s there. It's going to be very close. Very close indeed. Okay. Is she going to be first or second? Second. Okay. Well, I have to say I'm surprised. It was always going to be a close thing, difficult to get angry about it. I thought Kwan had edged it.
Yeah, I would have given it to Kwan, but hey, who are we?
Aus Japan.
Representing Japan, Shizuka Arakawa.
But it's not over yet.
Japan's second challenge here. Won her qualification group to a standing ovation. Shizuka Arakawa. "22 years old, skating to Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake." Not as Tchaikovsky wrote it. Triple looks, triple toe, just squeezed it out.
Well, that showed some character. She was all over the place at the beginning of that Lutz, but sorted it out and got a triple toe on the end.
And a triple flip. It's not looking the most elegant, but she's doing the job.
Silly mistake there, short on that flying camel spin by 1 rotation, 0.1 deduction.
Makes up for it with a fine double axel. Very good. The crowd, as you can hear, absolutely love it. For me, it didn't have the quality of either of the two routines we've seen before. Chris spotted that 0.1 deduction on the camel spin. But the jumps were safely landed, I have to say. Good though she is. And what a contingent Japan have. Congratulations to them. They're going to have 3 with a chance of a medal. But Arakawa, slightly disappointing. I can't quite put my finger on why.
I think it was edging on the side of caution through that short program. Didn't want to make any mistakes whatsoever. I thought it was a good performance. Skated fast, but lacked the sparkle that she had in the qualification. Spicy bar. Thank you, she says.
Yeah, she left Richard Callahan last summer to join Tatiana Tarasova's group. And you can imagine Tatiana behind that costume, can't you? She certainly looked stunning out there on the ice.
Really did. You can see she had an awful lean on that Lutz, but didn't matter. scrambled the toe loop. I think when the judges look back at this, you'll see that the triple toe wasn't landed cleanly, didn't quite get the full rotation. No problems with the lutz, even though she had the lean on it. But watch this, triple toe landed with a little bit of a turn at the end. But boy, she disguises it well. There's the flip.
Yes, I'd have that third or fourth on the afternoon. Obviously, she has an advantage on the others because she won her qualification group, so she may just nick in front of them. But I think they're closing in on her, and they may well have passed her.
Yeah, I think on the afternoon, I'd probably have it in fourth place, to be honest, because, what is it, Carolina KOSTNER in third?
Yes, that's right.
So, yeah. But I'm not sure that'll happen. She's getting in the final group, having won her qualification. She's going to get good marks, I think. Well, 5.9, excuse me.
Yes, not on. Not the same judge who gave the 6 to Pashenko, but it might well have been. And look at that for presentation. Wow, the judges have really gone with that. I must say I'm a little surprised. She has won on the afternoon so far, and she leads overall. I must say I'm a little surprised at that. Well, both Chris and I are shaking our heads. Can't quite work that one out at all. It was very good, but was it really better than Ando and Kwan? Michelle KWAN is being given the thumbs down here in no uncertain terms. And has she earned that? Now, second in her qualification group. Second last year in the Worlds, the enchanting Elena Sokolova from Russia. Triple lutz, double toe, double-footed on the lutz and had to step out of the toe.
Which was all over the place at the end of the lutz and struggled to get any sort of toe loop at all at the end.
This is a disaster for Sokolova. Triple flip, and she's hurt her back as well. Double axel, first jump was okay. No, I'm depressed. Some of the majesty seems to have gone from Sokolova this year. She wasn't quite the same. I saw quite a bit of Europeans. Obviously you were there, I wasn't. But she didn't look quite the same at Europeans, and definitely not the same here.
No, there was nothing like the performance that she did in the qualification, and it's so tough when you go out there, especially in this sort of field, and that first element doesn't work. I think the sparkle at that moment completely disappeared from the performance. And again, that extra pressure on her this season after the successes of last year. Silver medal in both Europeans and Worlds. And it ain't going to happen this year, that's for sure.
Good that she can smile now. But I'm afraid it's a performance that's going to... Well, she might be in medal contention, but I doubt it, to be honest.
Can't see it, it's 0.6.
Yeah.
At least 0.6 at the first set of marks.
Yeah, she's going to have to skate out of her skin and hope that others make pretty crucial mistakes. It's the only way she can get bronze.
Yeah, she's going to be banking on others, I'm sure of that. Here's the Lutz, two-footed, you can see that clearly. And then didn't have a lot of momentum for the toe loop. Had to put a turn on the end of that. Fought hard there.
Well, I understand we're lining up an interview with Michelle KWAN, which should be pretty interesting to hear. Let's go down ringside with Petra, who does have Michelle with her.
Michelle KWAN, first of all, congratulations for this show program today. You had not such a very good qualification. Was it a big pressure now for you in the short program?
Well, I didn't skate very well in the qualifying round, and I just wanted, this afternoon to skate like I've been in practice, and just to feel my legs under me and enjoy the audience, enjoy the performance, and I had fun. And with the standings, I don't know, but I'm just going to try my best. That's all I can do.
Yes, the performance here in Dortmund, they love your skating. And what do you think? Your goal must be the 6th world title to win here in Germany, or?
Well, winning is great. Everybody is out here and hungry, and I don't know where I'll end up this short program, but I'm just gonna have the attitude to enjoy myself, and it's been a crazy season, so it's just taking one thing at a time.
Thank you very much, and good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good to hear from her, and being pretty diplomatic, I think, and that's the best way to be. You don't want to hurt the judges with the free program still to come, but I think behind the scenes, especially when she sees the marks for Arakawa and the performance, well, we still can't quite fathom it. Terrific marks of presentation for Sokolova despite the mistakes. They may well hold her from a disastrous fall. Let's see where she's going to be. 2 to go, remember. Oh, 9th. No, that really is wretched for her, but to be honest, she doesn't deserve much better. And she's getting out of there as quick as she can.
Nächste Läuferin.
The next skater.
2 to go then.
Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika.
And it's set up for Sasha Cohen. She's not delivered in Worlds up until now. Through all the hype. And we know she's got talent to burn. And she's got a killer competitive attitude. Can she put it all together here in the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds? New coach. Will it be a new reward for Sasha Cohen? Switch coaches in the middle of the season, which is virtually unheard of. But a lot of what she does is like that. Skating to Malagena, the young lady from Westwood, California. Double toe, quite near the barrier. I wonder if she was looking for a triple. Clean triple flip as well. Nailed it. Spot on. It could be a situation, as far as the Americans are concerned, the Queen is dead. Long live the Queen.
Sasha Cohen.
A faultless performance from Sasha Cohen, and the one that could well take her into the lead going into the free.
Well, the only difference comparing that to the Japanese duo that lead at the moment is the triple-triple combinations. But remember, there are 8 elements in this program, and you have to judge them all. And the other 7 were far superior to anybody who skated this afternoon. Spiral sequence was magnificent. That combination spin at the end, fantastic. The flip was great.
That was like my super
Wow, it was a good performance. And the overall presentation, that's that is worth a 6.
That was her super fighter routine, she says, and it looked like that. Well, she's always threatened and always talked up a good story. The rumours of this big-time rivalry between she and Michelle have gone back 2 or 3 years now. Michelle beat her in American Nationals, but it looks as if it's going to be the other way around here at Worlds in 2004.
Well, it was a close run thing, I think, in US Nationals. I think Cohen was in the lead and Kwan came back with a fantastic free performance. So it could be the same story here. Kwan still has it all to do.
But they may be too far apart, even if Kwan beats her, because the judges, let's be fair about it, have said goodbye to Michelle Kwan here.
Yes, they've not helped her at all. And Robin Wagner beaming as she watches this performance. The little Sasha Cohen could not have given that anything else. Total commitment on every single element. And here's the double axel. Beautifully clean off that forward outside edge, no skid on the takeoff or anything. And the spirals, the best of the day, without any doubt.
Very slight, but you can see in the arms there how strong she is. An amazing flexibility. That'll show you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the marks please for Sasha COHEN USA.
Well,
The marks for required elements.
you can tell who's the most nervous.
Yes.
Range of marks between 5, 6 and 5, 9. The marks.
The marks 5, 6 up to 5, 9. And she got a 6. Yes, she has 4 perfect 6s. Well, the judges are giving them out like candy, to be honest. But that was a very good performance, no doubt about it. And 7 out of 9 have her in first place, presumably including the 4 who gave her 6s. But well done, she deserves it. That was terrific.
She really does, yeah. I'd have given that a 6 for the second mark,
The
without a
next
doubt.
skater,
Aus Ungarn,
representing Hungary,
Julia SEBESTYEN.
Now in third place, the European champion. Can she stay calm amidst all this? It's very noisy once again here. 14th last year, Julia SEBESTYEN. Triple flip to start. And a very, very smooth combination. Triple Lutz, double toe loop.
away from the performances.
No.
The performances were very good as well.
Well, Ando's was. Arakawa's was good enough, but really, second place? Well, you may be right, Chris, with your doubting about the marks. Are they going to be better than Kwan or not? Very similar. And no, she's going to drop below her. Must say, I'm amazed at some of the marking here.
Cohen, Arakawa, Ando, Kwan, Sebestyen et Kostner. Ce sera le dernier groupe. Vous le voyez ici, ce sera le dernier groupe. Il faut donc trouver la championne du monde, eh bien dans les 3 premières, Cohen, Arakawa, Ando. Je ne vois pas comment Michelle KWAN pourrait rattraper, ça me paraît quand même assez difficile. Et puis pour le podium, eh bien le podium est à choisir dans ces 6 jeunes filles. Vous les voyez actuellement. Irina Slutskaya, donc on l'a dit, rejetée dans le deuxième groupe. C'est aussi valable pour Fumie SUGURI et Elena LIASHENKO, qui était plus habitué à cela depuis pas mal de temps. Nous allons voir le classement de Anne-Sophie Calvez en 17e position.
Ce qui est très bien, Michel, ce qui est très bien.
C'est bien. En plus, elle a fait un beau programme court, je veux dire, de ce point de vue-là.
Quand on voit que Susanna POYKIO est 14e, je veux dire, elle est parmi les filles qui quand même sont tout le temps dans les 5 premières au championnat d'Europe, c'est très bien.
Voilà, et puis jusqu'à la 24e, eh bien, nous verrons ces jeunes filles. Demain, ça sera en direct et en intégralité sur Eurosport. Et voici les éliminés du jour, ce qui correspond grosso modo au premier groupe.